the Fitness After 40 podcast. I'm here with Tammy again. We're going to talk to you a little bit today. Our topic is basically just kind of how to get started with fitness. You know, a lot of people, they know they need to be working out, but they're just not sure like what they should do to get started. Some people can't afford to hire trainers. And what we do in here is all personal training based. So I understand, like, you know, some people financially they can't do that, but that doesn't mean that you can't be active and work out. And, you know, I think you'd probably agree, like for general health and just to keep mobility, you probably don't, you know, it doesn't take a whole lot, and it's not a huge time commitment and things like that.
Right.
So, you know, we were talking about this morning, and this is kind of how this topic came up, but like, you know, it's coming into the gym, working out, working with a trainer. That's great, and that's going to get you the best results. It's going to get you faster results, keep you safer, like all that sort of stuff. But for some people, you know, just getting out and just walking, you know, I think is going to be a huge thing for them. Doing some push-ups, doing some squats, things like that. You know, what are some things that you can think of that, you know, maybe somebody that is, you know, they're just nervous to come into a gym, and they you know, because we always hear like I need to, you know, get in shape before I join the gym, and it's like, that's just that's why we're here, is to help you get in shape. But yeah, a lot of people they have that thing. So what are some things that you know might have for that, for some tips?
I mean, definitely walking. You know, there's been a study that come out recently that anybody that gets under 8,000 steps per day, I'm trying to think how exactly it went, but it actually negates most of the work that's done in the gym if you're not getting at least 8,000 steps a day. So walking is so underrated because it's movement. And when I'm not talking about power walking or adding dumbbells to your walk, it's just movement for the sake of movement. Because it doesn't raise cortisol levels, so it doesn't really have an impact on like hormones. So we're talking like 3 miles per hour. It's just it's a leisurely walk, just movement.
Yeah, it is. It's so important getting those extra steps in, because
absolutely.
You know, you can come in and kill yourself in here, but you get 1,000 steps a day. Like, it's just, there's no act. It's like you're super active, and you know, now you're sedentary. And I think they've even had some studies, I think, that I've seen where they're doing the higher intensity of the workout, it actually sometimes negates daily activity because they're so tired afterwards and stuff like that.
Exactly. So a lot of people think of this metabolism as like a calculator set. So, you know, I burn this many calories, or they'll come in here and they won't leave until they see 500 calories on their fitness, whatever tracker they're using. It's more like a stress barometer, so it's more of a thermostat. So if you're cranking up the heat or putting out energy from workouts and things, it will actually, so that you have exercise activity thermogenesis, which is calories burned during exercise, and then you have non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is just daily living, you know, taking the kids to school and walking and that kind of stuff. So that, and then you have your basal metabolic rate. So that makes up the calories that are burned in a day. So your basal metabolic rate is genetics. It's kind of a set. It depends on muscle and fat and all that stuff, but it's kind of something you don't have a lot of influence over, again, except if we're losing fat and gaining muscle. But non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT as they call it, that has the most bearing. So things that you're doing, yard work and housework and walking and those kind of things, without creating cortisol response in the body, you have the biggest influence over. So you can raise that without setting off any warning bells or shooting red flags up. So your exercise is important, but again, it causes cortisol. It's a stressor to the body.
People that are super stressed anyhow, coming in and doing this hard, you know, super intense, you know, workout, that's probably the last thing they need, and they need more of that walking and stuff. Right.
And if you're doing an hour and a half in the gym without proper recovery, without proper fuel, it actually turns your stress barometer down. So the metabolism will turn down. So instead of maybe burning 1,500 calories that day, aside from you know, your other stuff, maybe it turns it down to 1,300 calories a day. So it's very stress reactive. So you have to be careful how the body responds, and you can't just throw in all this intense exercise without making sure you're getting recovery and the proper nutrition with it.
Let's talk about that with the recovery. Like, a lot of people, you know, you see they're just like, you know, they want to run around like a crazy person from like exercise to exercise and not taking the breaks in between. So the minute, the 90 seconds, you know, whatever the rest period, the prescribed rest period in there, that's all part of that, you know, pulling the cortisol down, letting their bodies recover a little bit, and then not working out every day is another thing. You know, getting those 3, maybe 4 days a week of exercise, but then just getting those walks back and just getting movement back. And this could be, I guess it wouldn't have to necessarily be, you know, walking. It could be, you know, playing tennis. It could be golfing, carrying your bag, not, you know, riding in a cart, drinking beer, but you know, like, but
bicep curls.
Yes. But you know, different at pickleball, you know, thing. I know that's really popular right now.
Yeah.
You know, any of those different activities, but it's getting that movement and just getting people to move
and finding things that you enjoy doing. You know, if you hate playing pickleball, then find, you know, go hiking, or you know, just find that thing that you enjoy doing, and get some movement out of there. You know, boot camps and all these crazy workouts have gotten really popular, and I'm not saying there's not a place for them and that some people don't do well with them, but the problem is, like, what we're seeing is the oxidative stress is actually aging people and turning the metabolism down. So it, you know, when you put your body under that demand, it craves carbs. It wants carbs to help what you just put it through for energy. And so if your goal is weight loss, you know, that's not your best thing. And people get so confused. Like, cardio's good. You need it for lungs and heart, and all that has good health benefits from doing it. But we've married it with strength training. Instead of having, this is my cardio day and this is my strength training day, and on strength training day you're not looking to be out of breath. Now, we both talk about how we both get really out of breath because you lift heavy enough, but it's not the same as cardio. That, so, you know, when we try to go for our runs, I use that term loosely. You know,
I hate running.
We're out of breath. It's a cardio workout. When we do our strength training, we have prescribed rest periods, and then, you know, you want to try to do as much weight. If I come in gasping for air, I'm not going to be able to pull my deadlift heavy like I need to because I'm still out of breath.
You might be recovered going into that set, or you know, close to being recovered and things like that. Not you know, still exhausted. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a big thing. You know, is just getting people to understand that coming in and working out is just a piece of it. But again, it's all in like, there's a prescription to it. Like, you know, you take too much of your prescription, you're gonna have, you know, is a problem. So like with exercise, you know, we want that 3 to 4 days, 2 to 4 days really, depending on, you know, the person, the stress levels and things like that.
How many times have we seen our clients come back from a vacation, and sometimes like a 2 or 3 week vacation, and then we had the one girl, remember, she was out for a month with an injury, come back, their in-bodies, they gained muscle because they actually finally gave their bodies recovery and some time to build and repair, and they come in and their body fat's down, and you know, their muscles up.
It was a reset, and, you know. And so I think getting back to, you know, what we're talking about, helping somebody, you know, get started that's in here, you know, there was, I think it was this past Christmas, that one commercial of the older guy that wanted to like lift his daughter or his granddaughter up for the
that made me cry.
Just like he just started with a kettlebell and like squatting down, picking it up, lifting it overhead. It's really that simple of, you know, picking stuff up, lifting it up, maybe carrying it,
carries,
walking, you know, doing things like that. So these are all things that people can do, you know, at home or without a gym, you know, if they just for whatever reason can't make it in. You know, grab a bucket, fill it up with some rocks and stuff, and just there you got farmer's carries, and you know, grab some dumbbells or kettlebells and just, you know,
push-ups, some kind of pulling motion. That's all just
it's getting yourself moving and then creating more movement throughout their life and incorporating more throughout their day and stuff. You know, I know a lot of people, they're desk bound, like they're you know, just stuck there. In fact, I think we used the term the other day, like desk potatoes. Like, you know, we're not couch potatoes, we're desk potatoes with everybody. And it's true. So just getting up from your desk every hour and just, you know, walk around or do some type of movement, I think is a good thing.
I mean, how many times have we talked to like professionals in like college and the NFL and the other sports, but whatever, they get excited about farm boys because those farm boys come in because they have so much different power and strength that they do. We've got rotational, and they're out, working the fields, they're working the farms, they're doing things, and they've got strong tendons and ligaments and the muscles to go with it. Versus the athlete that trains specifically for one sport, you're setting up usually for some injury because we don't have that rounded. I remember every lecture we've gone to at Perform Better and stuff, they talk about, we see farm boys come in and we get excited because we know they're going to be strong, they're going to be healthy, and they've got a good foundation to build the strength.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, if you guys are listening, you're not exercising right now, and you are thinking about getting started, and you want to get started, but just coming into a gym isn't feasible for you right now for whatever reason. Start by walking. Grab a kettlebell. Lift
your dog, your grandchildren.
But get some things, lift some things. Now again, if you have some injuries and issues, that all needs taken into consideration with some stuff. But everybody can find ways to move more if you're looking, for things like that. And if you have questions, we're always here to help. You can, shoot over, message, put a message in the comments and stuff. We'll answer things like that for you. We'd love to have you come in here, but again, we know that that's, not everybody, is able to do it. Not everybody's in the area, things like that. So. And
I think too, something important to remember, everyone rags on CrossFit, and I'm not getting on that bandwagon, but that's not for everybody. And I think people have to understand, they see these intense workouts where people are throwing up or crawling out of the gym or sweating or feel like they're dying. That is not a sign of a good workout. If that's your thing, I'm not knocking it. It's your thing, you go for it. But for the beginner, you don't have to. You should feel like you're ready to go to battle after workout, not that you've just done a battle. And again, it depends on your sport and what you're training for. But it doesn't have to be extreme or intense where you're killing. It just shouldn't feel like you're killing yourself. That's not what really working out's about, unless you're training for a sport or a competition or something like that. But for general fitness, it should feel about. I feel really good, and that makes me feel stronger after doing it.
And and it's doing just enough, but not too much so that they can recover from it. And if you're sore for days, especially if you're still sore for days and you've been working out for a while, that's a big problem. Someone's gonna get hurt, you're gonna get burned out. And
especially as you get older, in your 20s you can do dumb stuff and your body's more forgiving. In your 40s and beyond, it's not as forgiving anymore. No.
And somebody new starting out, we always, our thing is, and with, when we talk with our coaches and stuff, like with, new people, don't kill them. I don't want them to be, I really don't want them to be sore at all the next, day. I want to get them some movement, but there's typically some soreness, but again, if they're having trouble getting up and down from a chair or going downstairs, that's, we probably push too far on that.
Right.
So it doesn't take a lot to get started. You don't have to, spend an hour in the gym. We might start 30-minute workouts or something, depending on where you're at with things. So,
right.
Do you have anything else you want to add before we go, or anything like that?
Nope.
Okay. So yeah, guys, if you're thinking about starting to work out, and keep this stuff in mind, that you're just looking to get some movement in. We want it to be resistance based for some of it, not all of it, but some of it, where you are lifting some sort of weight. Getting your walks, getting your steps, and if you are currently working out but you're not getting a lot of steps, that's something to look at too, is hit that 8,000 steps. Everyone says 10,000, but I think we're starting to see that it is around 8 is where the benefits come in. I'm sure there's a ceiling on how many steps. I'm not sure we really know what that is, but again, make that your goal if you're currently working out and you're not getting the steps, and if you're just getting started, some squats, some push-ups,
And another
walking.
thing, if money's tight, resistance bands are huge,
Yeah,
and they're fairly, reasonable.
You get bands for $10 and stuff. You can pick some of those up. And there's a lot of stuff you can do with that. We actually have some stuff posted on our site with how to do that, and then through the YouTube channel and things that you guys can check out there as well too. So again, thank you guys for tuning in today. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe to our podcast, and if you want to leave us a rating and a review, we appreciate that as well too. But until next time, we'll talk to you then.